Kia ora everybody, welcome to Friday Good News with Paul the Other One. Now I actually did this during the first lockdown, where I sat down every day, did a little bit of good news snippets for you, showed you a few things from happening around the world, just in a way of trying to cheer you up. Well, I've decided to do the same thing again, just with a slightly more professional setup, because I have a slightly more professional setup now to be able to do it. And this whole thing is just good news. Alright, so nice and easy. Sit down, relax, enjoy seeing some good things in the world, okay? Because sometimes we just need that bit of a boost to end the week. I really do hope, though, that this is not something I have to be doing during lockdown for a long time. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Anyway, here's our first news story. Our first big news story of the week, which for me feels like good news anyway, is that Brian Tamaki has been charged with breaching the Public Health Act put in place to keep people safe during the COVID outbreak. Now, Brian Tamaki is a self-professed pastor / bishop / apostle who runs a megachurch in South Auckland. He's not the only megachurch person, though, who was involved with the organisation of this rally last weekend, which saw up to 2,000 people flaunting these laws put in place to keep us all safe. When he was asked about the arrest or about the charges afterwards, he turned around and says, kind of surprised that people would do this. But, the 150,000 people that signed a petition calling for him to be charged were not surprised at all. And personally, I'm very happy to see anything happen to the person who blames people like me for earthquakes, who turns around and marches around threatening gang rapes if he doesn't get his way in prisons, and who's genuinely just been grifting a whole bunch of poor people so he can go off and buy mansions and motorbikes and big luxury cars without having to pay a single cent of tax on it. So seeing some consequences to his actions, no matter how small, is honestly a really good feeling right now. Speaking of public health responses, Wellington and Queenstown have this week announced that they have hit 90% vaccination rate for first doses of the COVID Pfizer vaccine. Super numbers and really impressive. Auckland, which has been in lockdown for the past million years, has reached about 86%, so they're still working to get up there. 90% is the target that's been set by the Ministry of Health before we can look at really pulling back on possible restrictions. And while there are outbreaks going in smaller communities around the country, it's really important to make sure that those communities are getting those vaccine levels up. So if you need more information on how to go and get the vaccine, it's super easy. Just check out the Ministry of Health website, or just do a Google search for COVID-19 vaccine in New Zealand, or go to bookmyvaccine.nz to be able to ring up and actually book a space to get your vaccine sorted. The WHO has this week announced the rollout of the first ever malaria vaccine. Malaria is one of the largest individual killers around the world, so having an effective vaccine is a massive step in the fight to eradicating it. The problem has been the fact that malaria isn't a virus, it's actually a microscopic parasite, attaching itself to blood that gets sucked up by mosquitoes and then transferred to other creatures that the mosquito bites. So having a vaccine that can fight a parasite takes a lot more work and a lot more methodical science than other vaccines that have been created for different viruses. All in all, it's a pretty amazing step though, that we can finally fight something like malaria in an effective way that's not going to cause long-term harm to people and doesn't do anything to the native indigenous bug species at the same time. Finally, the New Zealand Institute for Economic Research has released this week findings that show that increasing the minimum wage back in April of 2021 had no ill effect whatsoever on the economy or employment rates, stating that most small businesses have been able to absorb the cost without there being any detrimental side effects to the people working there or to the economy itself, despite what at the time many naysayers were predicting was going to happen, which always happens every time there's a minimum wage increase. However, research internationally has shown that a minimum wage increase has more positive economic knockoffs than negative economic knockoffs. This research done in New Zealand specifically has backed that up. Right, that's me done for the week. Super easy. I really hope you've enjoyed this small snippet of good news. Go out and enjoy your Friday. If you are in Tamaki Makaurau, go have a picnic if it's stopped raining. It probably hasn't stopped raining. And for my friends and whānau down in the Waikato, good luck, kia kaha. You'll get through this. Just go out, get yourself tested and get yourself vaccinated. Super easy. Look after each other and I will talk to you guys later.